The Cambridge Dictionary defines ride out as to continue to exist during a difficult situation and until it ends without serious harm.
I'ma ride out, no matter what people say. I'ma ride out, each and every day. I'ma ride out, cause you always make a way. I'm gon' ride out, Lord, I'm gon' ride out. I'ma ride out, no matter what people say. I'ma ride out, each and every day. I'ma ride out, cause you always make a way. I'ma ride out, Lord, I'm gon' ride out.
I'm gonna ride out. I'm gonna see what the end gonna be. You see,
it's Faithwalkn Faithful. I tell you, Faithwalkn Faithful, she is totally adventurous. She's creative and she loves people. She loves people. She loves to do what God has called her to do. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share God's messages and music. So Faithwalkn Faithful, she's a faithful walker, if you will. That's what they say, faithful walker. But she walks faithfully in the things of God in her life. And God has always been faithful with sharing things for me. Whenever I go through things, that He's always given me songs, not knowing that I would be doing an album. But I was so excited about it when the time came to do an album. So Faithwalkn Faithful, she's obedient to the things of God. She's faithful and definitely adventurous. There are times she can do things that she may believe God has called her to do, but later, you learn that, maybe that wasn't Him. So that's Faithwalkn Faithful in a nutshell.
I'ma ride out, no matter what people say. I'ma ride out, each and every day.
Naomi, of course, there's no Faithwalkn Faithful without Naomi. Naomi, born Naomi Sanford, of course, that's my maiden name. Was born to Betty West and Mr. Calvin Sanford, my dad. My mother has said, well, my mother is currently deceased. About 6 years now, and my father is still living, Mr. Calvin Sanford. So I grew up in Orlando, Florida. I actually was born though in Washington State. I gotta tell this story. People always ask me, where are you from? That's such a hard question for me, but I was born in Washington State. My mother said she caught a bus there to have me because he was gonna pay for this baby. So she went to Washington State and I was born there, and at 3 months old she brought me back to Florida. So she raised me up in Florida. All my family is in Orlando, Florida. When I got to about the 6th grade, the summer of the 6th grade going into the 7th grade, my mother decided she didn't want us raised up in Orlando, so she moved us to Fort Pierce, Florida. She did not want me to be like my cousin, is what she said. I had a favorite cousin, and I tell you, she later had the name Miss Hollywood, so she was pretty known around the neighborhood. But my mother didn't want me raised around all of the city stuff, so she moved us to Fort Pierce, Florida, and that's where I later graduated high school, started my first business, which I went to school to be a cosmetologist. And I started opening beauty salons. Of course, it's a whole story behind that. I want to give a shout out to Sheridan Bobby Parker. They was my mentors in the beauty salon. But, I got my start in Fort Pierce. I graduated in Fort Pierce. My first marriage was in Fort Pierce. My first 2 children I had in Fort Pierce. So Fort Pierce is what I consider home. Orlando, of course, is where I'm from, so that's a hard question for me always. I did have an opportunity to go back to Washington State. It was a dream come true for me. When I went into the military at age 30, I took the ASVAB test. I had an opportunity to pick the duty station of my choice, and of course Washington State was it. When you're raised up in Florida, you always think that Washington State is so far away. It must be really cold and snowy, but I've learned that South Carolina gets colder than Washington State. So that's Naomi in a nutshell. Just a little old girl raised up in Florida.
I'ma ride out. No matter what people say, I'ma ride out. Each and every day, I'ma ride out. Cause you always make a way, I'm gon' ride out. Lord, I'm gon' ride out. I'ma ride out. No matter what people say, I'ma ride out. Each and every day, I'ma ride out. Cause you always make a way, I'ma ride out. Lord, I'm gon' ride out. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, captives are made free. I'ma ride out. No matter what people say, I'ma ride out. Each and every day, I'ma ride out. Cause you always make a way, I'm gon'